There are so many interesting, horrifying, or downright weird things in this big world of ours.
Each week, we'll bring you a new true crime story that has little to no coverage in English.
Let us do the translations so you don't have to. So, shall we just get started?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're back with another news tangent episode.
Yes. In case you hate them, we just wanted to annoy you. Or in case you love them, we just wanted to help you out and give you some extra love this month. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so what
So who wants
happens
to
in
go
these
first?
episodes? Do we want to summarize it, or is it clear that we bring
We just
some
talk.
random news that we just kind of randomly pick each of us?
Yeah,
And yeah.
yeah. Vaguely crime related. Yeah.
Mhm.
As crimey as possible. Yeah. So who wants
Who
to go first? I
starts?
went first last time, and then so maybe Petra can go first this time since I think you haven't gone first.
Okay. So I just read this news, I think yesterday. And fortunately, nobody died, so it's not a murder. But I would say
Okay.
that there was a risk of someone dying there. So yesterday, I mean, as of 22nd of February, the North Karelia court gave its verdict to a woman who had lived there or lives in North Karelia, and they have like 3 houses, separate households, and they are all using one well for water. So they have a
no.
well, and they live in a pretty like away from the city or village in Kitee was the municipality.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
happened in 2018
Mm.
because court proceedings take time in Finland.
And
Anyway,
also COVID happened in between that too. So
yeah. So what she did was putting her shit in the well.
Oh no.
And
Dysentery. Come on. What the fuck?
And why
Okay.
did she do this?
apparently because she had a dog, but she had not like she had kept the dog free, so the dog would go to the neighbor's place, and the neighbor had complained, and eventually apparently did like report to the police, and police had given her a fine that hey, you can't let your dog to run to your neighbor's yard. So she got angry about this complaint and the fine she got. So the next day she apparently put her shit to the well.
But like, did she? I mean, what? So like, did she collect it over a period of time?
Or did you just sit over the edge of the well and just like shit directly into the well? I'm just imagining like one of those like old school, like wells. It's probably not an open air well, right? Like, with the little wall and like a little how or like a
That's how
little
I
roof with like
imagined it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's like some kind of
Grotto or
what is
Roof?
it?
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
roof.
roof. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's not stated here, but the court has stated that it's just very unlikely that someone unrelated person would first come to their well because they were living away from any other people, and also get this person's DNA from anywhere because they
Yeah.
found this woman's DNA from the water. That eventually got 12 people sick, and one of the persons was
Wow.
a pregnant woman, and apparently
No.
also the baby who was born got
Oh no.
like her stomach, unwell. So
Oh
probably
God,
very
no.
late pregnant.
Fucking
So
Christ.
And I
So
was
how
like,
did they find out?
there was really risk of someone dying. Like when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Yeah.
pregnant as babies, this stomach bacteria is not something to play with.
No, I mean, so everybody started getting sick, and then they were like, okay, what's the commonality between everybody? Everybody's drinking from the same water source, and then they're
And
like,
who is the
hmm,
one who is not sick? I'm
yeah,
sure that she didn't drink the well water herself.
yeah, I'm sure
Mhm.
not. Yeah. Fucking Christ.
And yeah, of
Wow.
course, there was the motive that she was angry because, I don't know, they didn't look well her way of taking care of the dog.
Wow,
Wow.
this
Yeah.
is like the most passive aggressive bullshit I've heard from Finland, from a Finnish, society member. Usually they have the letter that you write. I mean, we've also discussed some ways to deal with noisy, sexy neighbors, sex neighbors having sex, not sexy as in they're okay, whatever. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
like,
both.
Yeah.
or anything. Like, usually you just write a heippalappu, as they call
Yes.
them,
Yeah.
like just something in the paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Usually passive aggressive though. But yeah, so this is the most
this
passive
was
aggressive I've
very,
ever.
yeah,
Yeah.
aggressive, I would say.
Yeah. Fuck.
This person, 65 years old, like, you would, I don't know, and her name is, I won't say the full name, but her first name is Liisi. That just sounds like a cute old granny.
I mean, the 65-year-old part kind of fits the cantankerous old woman vibe. Like, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
you, but then Lisi is such a cute name that I can't. Like, that's the part that fucks it up for me.
Mhm.
Oh,
But
no.
yeah, she got like 2 years and 2 months in jail. So I think that's,
Yeah.
I probably makes her think that it was not a good joke or whatever she wanted it to be. Like, what the,
Yeah. I wonder what
Just
the
just
defense
just
was.
imagine like thinking about this, like, what would be a good way to, what would be a good revenge on my neighbors? And then
and
you
of
come
course
up
she
with
had to
this.
Yeah.
pay for all of the victims.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Fucking,
that
that's so
was the.
fucking nasty.
I just
Wow.
read this yesterday, and I don't know. I thought that this is an interesting story to share.
Yeah.
And luckily, no one died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Especially the baby. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
dangerous
Yeah.
stuff.
exactly.
Ugh.
Okay. Next story.
Yeah. Who wants to go?
I can go. Mine is kind of short.
Okay.
Because like it's also not related to murder or yeah. It's about like scamming. I'm kind of interested in like scams and like frauds in general.
Mhm.
And I just found this news article on Yle
Yeah. So you're
from,
interested in reading about them not doing them to other people, right?
well, who knows? No, I'm interested in like the topic, reading about them, listening to podcasts about them. But yeah, so I found this news article on Yle from early February that reported that digital fraudsters swiped 44 million euros from victims in Finland last year. So this is
Mm.
like online frauds, and like how there's like a variety of these nowadays. Like a package
Yeah.
arrived for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I
yeah, I
feel
was
like
just surprised that it's such a high number.
yeah, but I
For
feel like sadly, like at least with a lot of these scams, I just automatically go to old people, They're usually the
Hmm,
victims of these particular scams
yeah,
because they just don't know,
yeah,
that
true.
yeah, so it just makes me kind of a bit
They don't
sad.
get suspicious that, oh, this email looks a
Mm,
little bit not how it should look if it was
Yeah.
if it was a
mm.
legit
Yeah.
notification or something. But also the interesting thing in this article is that they mentioned that incidents of digital fraud increased at a rapid pace in Finland during 2023, and that apparently, like compared with the previous year, so 2022, then wait one second, I'll just read it. In a press release, the FFI, so that's Finance Finland, said that digital fraudsters tried to cheat people in Finland out of almost 77 million euros in 2023, which marked a significant increase on the 47 million euros in such frauds the previous year. And then apparently the banks managed to like refund some of it, or like actually like I don't know, like decline the transaction or something. So then the final number that the victims have lost in 2023 was 44 million euros. But still,
Wow.
like it's a lot. And then I
Did
looked it up in Hungary as well, just as a comparison, and I found
yeah.
that like on a daily basis from last year also, so this statistics is from 2023, I think like people in Hungary lost about like 200,000 euros per year to digital fraud. So that would be like
Mm.
about 70 million euros
Wow.
during the whole year. I mean, of course,
Wow.
more people live there in Hungary than in Finland, but still, it's a I don't know. It was just surprising to me, like how high it is.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, do you think the uptick, for instance, because did they give any information on the actual actors that are the people doing the fraud? Does it have to also do with like, for instance, different countries? You know how like could it have been in contrast because of Russia or Russia's invasion to Ukraine or
Hmm.
something? Could it be like this type of bad actor thing, Russia trying to steal money from us or
Yeah, maybe they didn't go into that, but they mentioned
yeah.
that that like a lot of these are sort of these investment scams,
Mm,
Mm,
okay.
like this kind of long game schemes that you're supposed to
Yeah.
like invest
mm,
money
Yeah,
over a
and you get a
period of
little bit
time.
back and then yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't say, like any more details. I'm sure there's maybe some information about this. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a big increase from
Yeah.
one year to the next. But even before that, it was a lot of money. And then they estimate also this Finance Finland that actually this is just like probably the real number is about 3 times higher because a lot of fraud is done like I don't know, like it's done in like cryptocurrencies or involves
Mm,
cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. So people don't actually report it or the banks don't see it. So this is
yeah.
only what the banks like officially confirmed. But
Mm,
there's a lot more that either people don't report or that's not noticed or, this
yeah.
crypto
yeah.
stuff. So wow.
Yeah, that's insane. Like I I just want to know where all the money goes. Who has the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what you could do with that money if the tax officer took it instead of the criminals. But
Yeah, could
Hmm.
you imagine? Actually, could you imagine? Wow.
yeah,
If everybody was above board and, a functioning member of society and didn't have to steal and didn't have any, okay, I can go on, but didn't have any, aspirations to be a millionaire or a billionaire and you just didn't crave that. And,
I
okay.
do have a feeling that probably most of these fraudsters don't come from welfare societies, but who
Mm,
knows?
yeah, 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 yeah. Who knows?
Maybe I should bring like some sort of a scam or fraud story as well at some
Yeah,
point.
that would be cool. Yeah, I'd be down for that. I'm
Plenty
interested.
of those in Hungary.
Yeah. I was gonna make a kind of a I don't know if it would be considered like racist or something, but I was like, are you interested because there's so much scam, like it's kind of the thing in Hungary, like
Well, it's apparently a
but
thing in Finland as well. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, but yeah.
It's all
Uh,
about just the country image.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Facts are the same, but how you build your country image.
true. True. Yeah. I mean, there was also today I read there was a scam. Was it a Kela scam actually? Not a scam, but like embezzlement of funds through Kela, like 200,000 or something like that. There were some other like US
Uh,
operations and whatnot. I mean, it wasn't that big, but I mean, it is quite substantial because
mhm.
it's
How,
usually way lower
how
than
did that
that.
go?
I don't remember. I just saw it in passing and I thought about presenting that today, which would
I
have been
think I
great
read
to
about
segue.
it.
Yeah.
Like someone had, I don't know if this is the same, but like someone had actually a company and they were making money from it. But for Kela, they had registered as unemployed, so they were
Mm,
getting unemployed money from Kela while actually getting like doing business with their own company.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So they were not
Oh,
unemployed or
but how
without
did they
money.
embezzle 200,000? thousand, or what was it? From
Okay,
unemployment
so
benefits.
Finnish Central Criminal Police are currently investigating a significant fraud scheme involving the misuse of social benefits provided by Kela, which is the social service institute in Finland, if people don't know. Um, and the case, which spans the years 2022 to 2023, involves fraudulent activities leading to a suspected financial damage of over 100,000 euros. Such extensive misuse of Kela benefits is rare, highlighting the exceptional nature of this case. And so basically, uh, there's at least 25 apartments identified as part of this fraudulent subletting operation. So it was like a subletting
Okay.
thing.
So this is a different case, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I was going to cover it, but I was like, maybe not. There wasn't that much because it's still under investigation. There wasn't much. Yeah,
Yeah.
So this might be more about the what is it called in English? Asumistuki, like
maybe.
money you can get
Yeah, a
for your
housing
rent,
benefit.
Mm-hmm.
housing
Yeah,
benefit. And
yeah.
I think in Finland it is possible to do it so that it's directly paid by Kela to the to the person who rents it out,
The leaser or the
leaser
yeah,
person,
yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it
Instead,
more common that Kela pays it directly to the like landlord?
yeah, landlord. That was
Yeah.
So not the okay, yes, so
yeah,
not the person who's renting,
yeah.
but the
So I
yeah,
guess
okay.
that's how you could make this kind of, I don't know. That's
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Indeed, like someone was like, "Oh, I have all these apartments or whatever," and then yeah, who knows?
But I think it's still the one who lives there who has to apply for it, not the
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
landlord.
But maybe
So I don't know.
it was like an inside job. I don't know. They
yeah,
Oh yeah, might be.
collaborated somehow.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, great to hear these stories. And then like, Orpo's government goes like, let's cut all of these benefits because people
yeah,
misuse them all the time.
yeah. Motherfuckers. Okay. Yeah.
But that wasn't your story, right,
Steven.
Laura?
No, it
No.
wasn't my story.
Other story.
Sorry, putting the cat down. Steven. I might have to I might have to shut him out. He's getting hangry right now, and his meows break through the filter or like the
Yeah, I heard it.
attenuator.
That's gonna be the
Yeah.
fun part of this episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my case that I'm going to talk about quickly, hopefully, is Alabama in the States is seeking to perform its second execution using nitrogen hypoxia. So it kind of reminded me of our case that Petra covered, with the hanging, and I was like appalled that people are still being hung to death because, the general the general fucked upness about how people are executed. Well, in general, executions are fucked up, but then I saw this, I was like, what the fuck? I've never heard of nitrogen hypoxia because it's, well, not that common of a thing for a reason. So yeah, that's my case today. Any questions so far?
I feel like I've heard about this week. But we
Yeah.
didn't talk about it, right? Like the
No, but
three of
this is
us.
like super, super recent, like as of like 2 days ago,
But
basically.
I feel like I heard it in like some podcast or something.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yes. But
Okay.
maybe it's not that, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the Alabama's asking, the state Supreme Court to approve a death for the inmate Alan Eugene Miller. And yeah, the execution would be carried out using, not lethal injection, but nitrogen hypoxia. So the general scheme of nitrogen hypoxia is that you're have like a mask, placed over your mouth and your nose, and then instead of inhaling oxygen, which is what we use for, our to go on living, you would basically be inhaling nitrogen, and like hypothetically, what would happen is that you pass out because you have lack of oxygen to your brain, and then can you still hear Steve in the background?
Yes.
Yes.
Just 1 second.
It's good atmosphere.
Yeah. I'm not bothered by this at all.
Okay, I shut the door now. He can't get in. He wasn't even close. He was fucking downstairs. He's like a noisy, noisy boy. Okay. Anyway, hangry boy. Um,
We can't hear him now.
he's being hardcore. Okay. So yeah, so then generally you should pass out from lack of oxygen to your brain and then eventually die because of lack of oxygen, you know. It should be generally painless and whatever, right? And that's what they're kind of selling it as.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think there was like some uh I was just searching this and it was like, okay, the most painful ways to die would be, you know, of course, stoning because that's still a thing in the world. And then hanging is also quite painful. And then I think the most humane, quote unquote, is lethal injection. But even that, of course, can have some issues because, you know, some of the chemicals can burn or, you know, of course, needles going into your skin, etc., whatever. Oh, and gas chambers also quite painful too. So you'd think that, hey, gas chambers shitty, so maybe also inhaling a gas that isn't oxygen would also be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So I don't know where they get that this would be a fucking good idea, but they are trying to go through with it. So this request to use this method comes just months after like Alabama first executed someone with this, and his name was Kenneth Eugene Smith, and it was also, you know, a controversy because, you know, it's a weird death penalty method in the States at least, and both Smith and Miller, so the guy that's going to be executed, that, you know, Miller's the guy that hasn't been executed yet, and Smith was the one that was executed recently, a couple months ago. They were both scheduled to die by lethal injection, but then Smith's first execution attempt was botched. So basically, they were supposed to carry out the execution during that particular day because they had the death warrant for that day. And then the execution actually wouldn't have happened in the time, like they wouldn't have been able to pronounce him dead in that day. So they got it started too late or something like that. So that's why it was botched. So they're like, okay, we can't execute him today. So then they went through a whole motion and blah, 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 blah. And then he was executed with the hypoxia. So, or nitrogen hypoxia. Oh, yeah, that was the other part too. Yeah, and they also tried to find the Miller guy, they tried to find his vein, and they like poked him and whatever for like an hour, and then they tried to like make him inverted so then, you know, the blood would rush to his upper extremities, and tried to, you know, find a vein that way, and it just didn't happen basically. So yeah, they ended up doing the hypoxia. Yeah. So then I found another article where it was basically this kind of spiritual healer or spiritual like leader, you know, of these guys. He kind of goes to death row and all over the country, and he kind of talks to these people and tries to get them like spiritual counsel and whatever in their final days. And he wrote this like opinion piece in USA Today. And it's titled, "I witnessed Alabama execute a man using nitrogen gas. It was horrific and cruel." So I'm going to read you some of that article. um, yeah. And he says, "I want to make something perfectly clear. Anyone who claims that this was anything short of torture is not just mistaken, they are a dangerous liar." So Kenny Smith execution was horrific to witness. Does this sound humane? When nitrogen gas started flowing, Kenny's face grew more and more intense with every second. Color started to change. Veins started to flex. Every muscle in his body started to tense. We talked for weeks before this moment about what he wanted to do. Never did he say that he would hold his breath. When things began to last way past the seconds that we were told it would, I began to wonder. Because, of course, when you inhale it, they say that, okay, you're supposed to pass out within the first few seconds because you don't have oxygen, right? His chest moved up and down with gusto. He was clearly trying to breathe. Shouldn't he be unconscious already? He clearly wasn't. He started to look as if his head would pop off. I leaned back. There was nowhere to fall. There was only this nightmare in front of me. As Kenny's reaction grew more visceral and violent, the expression of the guards started to shift dramatically. I couldn't believe my eyes. The gurney wasn't supposed to move, yet move it did. Kenny started heaving back and forth. The restraints weren't enough to keep him still. Kenny was shaking the entire gurney. I had never seen something so violent. Kenny's muscles went from tensed up to looking like they were going to combust. Veins spiderwebbed in every direction. It looked as like an army of ants was running through every centimeter of Kenny. There was nothing in his body that was calm. Everything was going everywhere all at once, over and over. His face, my God, his face. And then it goes on and on and on. And saliva, mucus, and other substances shot out of his mouth. The concoction of bodily fluids all started drizzling down inside of the mask, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Kenny kept heaving. And yeah, so basically it went on for a really long time.
I
And
think, wasn't it
yes,
like over 20 minutes or something? That's what I
something. It was,
remember. I
yeah,
think it
something.
was over 20 minutes.
Yeah, something pretty insane. And like, yeah, and it says like in recent days, politicians have been emboldened to push for nitrogen hypoxia executions in their own states. Such efforts are mindless lunacy. And yeah, it's just kind of sickening to think like, okay, yeah, great, whatever. I mean, this guy, if I remember correctly, what was it? What was his crime? Not saying that, any crime is worth that, but um what the hell? Well, this other guy, this Miller, the second guy that's supposed to be, executed this way. I mean, he had a workplace rampage in 1999 in suburban Birmingham, in which he killed Terry Jarvis and Lee Holdbrook and Scott Yancey. So, like, okay, yes, they're murderers, but I think that, I don't think you need to do unto others, like, what,
Yeah.
like, what he did upon other people. We don't need to, like, kind of perpetuate that misery. So I don't know. I just thought this was kind of interesting that now in Alabama and other states, they're trying to pass this almost unfounded kind of death penalty method, and
But they are
yeah.
also trying to sell it as it's more humane because it's so
Yes.
fast that it's not painful. But
I
apparently
Yeah.
wonder
that's
if
not true.
Yeah.
it's just simply cheaper.
That could also be.
Like,
Yeah.
that
But
I'm
would
how
sound
many
like
people are executed? Like, really, is it that like the number is so high that it's a significant saving if we use a
Yeah, I
cheaper
don't
method?
know. Maybe it's like you don't need a medical doctor then. I mean, you still need a medical doctor to pronounce that they're dead, for instance, but maybe you don't
yeah.
need a specialist to inject the substances in a certain manner, for instance, and it takes more like what? It takes more, I don't know. What's the word I'm fucking looking for? Uh I don't know the word I'm looking for.
I don't know what
Skill
you're looking for either.
anyway,
Yeah.
skill or
Yeah,
something, or
yeah,
like know how to do, like at the right
yeah.
times, and to make it as painless as possible. But this just seems like, how did
No,
they think that
anyone
it would
can
be?
execute an execution type of.
Yeah, yeah,
But
Because I don't
yeah.
think like the reason can't possibly be that, oh, it's more horrendous. Let's use this method, right? Like they
Or
try
maybe it
to.
is. Or maybe it is. Maybe they're like, let's make these fuckers suffer more, so let's pass it underneath the guise that it's more humane, but it's actually not. I don't know.
But
Mm.
I mean,
But
the whole
based,
idea of death penalty is eventually that they did this to other people, so we kill them for
Yeah.
punishment.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I
Yeah.
understand that if you already have that philosophy, why it's not that big of a step to think that okay, they made other people suffer, let's make them suffer.
Sure, but
Yeah.
like I'm sure there are laws that
Yeah.
should prevent this either
Yeah.
way, even if it was a horrible crime.
But
Mm.
like, I think it's interesting that probably the law states that okay, the state can kill a person for their crimes, but it must be painless or something
I
like
Yeah.
mean,
that.
and then this
Yeah.
kind of brings us maybe, or me at least, my mind to the whole argument of humane slaughter of animals
Yeah.
and how
Yeah,
humane is
exactly.
that. But maybe let's not go into that today.
Yeah,
No,
I feel
that's
that
a
we can spend a couple of hours just talking about the
Yeah.
philosophy of death and death penalty and stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of interesting videos kind of making fun of all of that too, like what we view as humane, even though we don't really need to do any of it. Like, what's the point in making it humane because we don't need to kill, well, animals or humans for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought this was interesting that and quite visceral and whatnot to think about. That I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, gasping for breath for like 20 minutes, trying to claw at, you're just being suffocated for,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also just remembered that I indeed like heard this on a podcast this week.
Oh,
And it
oh,
was
okay.
the Savage podcast. Their
Ah,
latest episode, they discussed this.
oh, okay, cool.
Go check that out as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
they're usually covering news and just like a
mm,
fun banter,
yeah,
kind of mostly lighthearted. I don't know, not always.
yeah. I've kind of found this. I don't even know how I found this actually. It wasn't on any like crime, on any crime news like sites or anything. I just like, oh, that's interest. Oh God, oh God, oh no, fuck,
Mm.
and then down the rabbit hole they went. But yeah, okay.
Okay,
I mean,
so I guess we need to finish this episode with a fun animal fact
Oh
ah,
yeah.
yes.
or something,
I
something
saw a
fun.
rabbit outside my window. It was cute.
Hmm.
Really,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. This might be like oldish news or something, or I don't know. I just read animal
Doesn't
facts and then
matter.
I don't
Just had to
remember.
be fun.
So apparently, recently or somewhat recently, within the past decade, I want to say, they found out that there's like hidden DNA found in blue whales, which reveals that they've been mating with other species and they have hybrid offspring. So usually, like when there's an actual hybrid offspring in nature, that's usually not able to reproduce because it's sterile, right?
Mhm.
But that's not the case. So apparently, so blue whales, and then it's been fin whales, I think, that they've been mating with.
Mm.
Yeah. And then they've been resulting in a different species, kind of like a group species, which I found very interesting. So, yeah.
Wow,
Animal facts.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Why every blue contains a bit of fin whale. I don't know. So it's quite interesting that there's like some interspecies mingling going on, I think. Yeah. I think there was this kind of funny name that they tried to dub these, but I don't remember. Long live the whales, because
Yes,
they're not assholes of
they're
the
the best.
sea.
They're the best.
Yeah, yeah. Porpoises are assholes now. Okay. Yeah, dolphins are the rapists of the sea.
Oh
Just
yeah, it was
that's
like,
They are
wasn't it dolphins?
whales.
what?
Dolphins. They are a subspecies of whales.
I have no idea, so I'm not gonna comment. I
I
Okay,
mean,
you two debate this now, and then we recorded an entire new episode on whether dolphins are whales.
Latin is cetacea. Latin cetus, whale.
oh,
Uh,
cetacea. Yeah. In for order. Okay, yeah. I think
whales,
there's that one.
dolphins, and porpoises.
Yeah, because okay, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, now I understand. So in English, when you say whale, you actually refer to the
Yeah.
because in Finnish the cetacea is
Mm.
valat, which is also the name of whales. So in
Mm.
Finnish, if you say that delfini on Valas,
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
now I understand why it was weird in English.
What a perfect way to end this episode then.
Yeah.
Back to linguistics.
Yes. Yes. But yeah,
But yeah,
and orcas. Orcas are assholes. I mean, okay, I can go on about
maybe we
orcas
should just
too.
end. I think
Okay.
it's time to go. Otherwise,
Sharks are the
they'll
best.
come
Whales are second best. All right. Hei parola.
Thanks for
Bye.
listening. Bye.